Alright, and we're back. Paladin. This is the class which, going into this set, is the worst class in the game. And there was a big thing added to the set which made all the Paladin players cry, called Mech Warper. Because this is the puzzle, and we're going to see if we can fix it with these 8 cards. How do you kill a turn 2 or turn 1 Mech Warper? The answer is you can't.
Right, because if Mech decks are a thing, and everything suggests that they will be, then if you can't kill it straight away, then they're going to curve out into their piloted
And
shredder and just drop a million mechs on you,
by
and
the
you're
way,
going to
that's
force
not
it.
an overstatement. You actually can't.
Um,
you you cannot kill it. The
yeah,
only way of killing a Mech Warper that comes out on turn 2, and all the things that come with it, is a turn 4 Wild Pyromancer equality.
yeah. Paladin has notoriously had problems with dealing with Knife Juggler,
Well,
and
Knife Juggler less so, but Undertaker especially.
yeah, and sorry, Undertaker as well. And uh,
They can at least silence that thing.
yeah,
You can't silence a Mech Warper. If you silence a Mech
so
Warper, he eats your R&B cow and he plays a Tinkertown.
that's like a general negative metagame development for Paladin.
Yep.
Um, but Paladin's also got a lot going for it in this set, so
Yep. Well,
let's
and
talk
a
about
lot
that.
not going for it, but we'll get there. Anyway, first card, Bolivar 4 Dragon,
Uh,
5
it's
mana,
Jotto, I'm
1.
going to correct you quickly, but it's Bolivar for Dragon, not Bolivar, the Venezuelan
I
military leader
completely
who,
misread that.
in the early 19th century, basically defined the political settlement of South America.
You're gonna keep going with this, aren't you?
Yes.
Alright, anyway. Bolvar. Okay. Ford Dragon. Just to piss you off. 5 mana 1/7. Whenever a friendly minion dies while this is in your hand. What? Gain +1 attack. This is the weirdest mechanic I've ever seen on a Hearthstone card.
I like this
Also,
mechanic. I like the idea that your minions are dying, and you've secretly got this game plan that your
yeah.
opponent doesn't know about, and you're getting closer to dropping your big
Something to note
guy.
though is that this does not change the card. When you play it, you can silence it, and if you sap it, it resets it.
Yeah. So you have to put quite a lot into this card in the fact that it has to be stuck in your hand for several
But
turns
not too
while you
much, because otherwise it gets big game hunted.
while you wait for it to get bigger. And in the best case, you get to play a
6/7.
5 mana Boulder Ogre that can be silenced, which is
Doesn't
not that
sound that
great.
good if you put it that
Uh,
way.
the payoff is not really large enough to justify the fact that you have to have this sitting in your hand for a few turns doing nothing, not giving you more options, and being a dead draw late game.
Not to mention, sap actually is hard removal against Bolvar.
Yeah, sap is awful, silence is awful.
Keeper of the Grove laughs at this thing.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
it's just not good. And if
yeah, I
it's in
mean,
your hand for too long, like what happens if you flood the board? And it's like, yeah, but if you flood the board with a bunch of stuff like Muster for Battle, the new one, things like that, they might just kill 6 guys before turn 5, and then they kill it with Big Game Hunter.
right, and then if you compare it to something like a generic 6 drop, 5 drop like Spectrum Knight or Fugan, both of which are already bad in Paladin. This card is
Not that
in the
good.
best case not much better, and in the worst case a lot worse.
So
So yeah, Bolvar is a very bad card.
not as good as he's not as bad as Flame Leviathan, but it's
Yeah,
close.
okay. I mean, it's not a terrible card, but it's a card you will never play, so you can safely disenchant it and not feel bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna test it for the just fun, but I'll disenchant it after I play a couple games of it. Anyway, Quartermaster, 5 mana 2/5, epic battlecry. Give your Silverhand recruits +2/+2. On the upside of things, you can play this with Silverhand recruits, and you get +2/+2 on everything, and it makes your hero power good. On the negative side of things, you just played a 5 mana 2/5.
Yeah. So
Um,
2/5 is not the greatest stats, as we've said on
no.
several other cards. But 5 health is pretty decent. You can, I mean, so in the kind of worst case scenario, you can play this card on turn 7 as a 2/5 that gets you a 3/3.
Nice
Um,
7 drop.
yeah, it's not that amazing, but if you've built up a couple of Silverhand recruits from beforehand, you can get some
The
course and
worst
master
thing is
value.
that if you're playing against Priest, it just is like at some point it's just a 7 mana 2/5 with a 3/3, and then they cabal the quartermaster and then just
Yeah,
kill
that
it
could
for
be pretty
3.
brutal. Well, on the other hand, against classes like Priest and Warrior that don't really have an efficient way of clearing your 1/1s, you can get some pretty sick quartermaster turns.
But then
Uh,
against
it,
Rogue, Mage, and Druid, it doesn't do anything.
it has particular synergy with Master for Battle.
Yeah, but then if you're playing Muster for Battle that late in the game, it kind of feels bad. That would only ever
Well, I mean,
happen if
you
you
play
top
Master
deck it.
Battle on 3, and then you can like coin out Quartermaster or something.
Yay!
I mean, so the card's not bad. It could actually be ridiculously good.
It's
If you
good.
get it,
Weirdly enough, it's actually best late in the game. When you actually start getting Silverhand recruits piling up a bit.
yeah. So, like a lot of people have said this card's gonna be great, really, really great.
I don't think it's that good.
Yeah, I mean
It's too slow and situational, and it's
yeah.
like the worst Houndmaster ever.
Ah, yeah, I mean, like it's like a Houndmaster that for 1 extra mana Houndmasters every beast that you have. Uh,
But only web spinners.
but yeah, well, only you heard about. But
Only 2
yeah,
mana web spinners. Only Captain's Ferrets. No
um,
Engineers.
if Master of Battle is like Unleash, then
It's I don't know. I don't
so
really like it.
I think Quartermaster could be the basis for quite a good deck if you play Master of Battle, which is a great card.
Anyway, on to a card that I think we can agree is terrible.
Okay, yeah,
Cobalt
now we're gonna
Guardian.
agree.
5 mana, 6/3 mech. Whenever you summon a mech, gain Divine Shield. And before anyone says anything, this does not count itself. You have to play another mech on top
So we're
of
gonna
it.
run through this trash card as quickly as possible.
It's terrible.
It's awful. You play for 5 mana, then you have to play another mech. Otherwise, it's just a vanilla 6/3 for 5 mana, and
And
dies to everything.
you got the
Even if you
Shaman.
gain Divine Shield.
Got that weird Shaman looking through his hands, like, should I Lightning Bolt it or should I Rock Biter? Oh,
Yeah.
Fire Elemental, that works.
Even if you gain Divine Shield, it's not that great.
It's
Even if it somehow lives over multiple turns and you gain Divine Shield, then it's pretty good. But you could have just played like some kind of consistent 5-drop.
if that happened, then you should have won the game by now anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if your opponent can't kill a 6/3, then they basically should just give up.
Yeah. So bad card is bad. Muster
It's
of
awful.
Battle is not bad.
Master of Battle is a really excellent card.
3 mana, summon 3 1/1s, 3 dudes seriously, and a 1/4 weapon, which I've noted that they have not mentioned the name of, but that thing is called Light's Justice.
So the 3/1 recruits are pretty good. Like you can think of it as like a 3 mana 3/3. It's somewhat weak to AoE, but
Like
because
Splice.
it's just a bunch of 1/1s, like most classes don't have AoE that can efficiently clear that. And they're quite hard to trade with battle, so they'll probably stick around. You can get some early board presence as Paladin, which is something they've struggled with before. It's a good play onto an empty board.
Yeah.
A lot of the problem with Light's Justice is that it's a 1 mana weapon that sometimes gets value, but
Not worth a
you won't,
card.
you won't always want to stab something with it every turn, and it has 4 charges, so it's quite hard to use it efficiently. If it's free, on the other hand, you can just use it to get like a little bit of value. You can split up.
To replace it if you need to.
You know that you're always gonna like get that 1 damage of value because you can direct your recruits into their minion in the next turn to set up good trades with the weapon.
Yep, I can definitely see that. It works. It does work with Sword of Justice, by the way. They clarified this. If you play Muster for Battle with Sword of Justice, it uses 3 charges before replacing it.
Yeah, but Sword of Justice was not really a good card before, and now that Paladin has
again.
several good weapons, I think that combo will not be particularly relevant.
Agreed. But Muster for Battle is probably the second best card they got out of Goblins and Gnomes. I think Shielded Minibot's probably the best.
Yeah, no, we're about to talk about Coghammer, which I think is really good as well. So
yeah. All right. So Master of Battle, good card. Coghammer.
Yeah.
Coghammer is a 3 mana 2/3 battle cry. Give a random friendly minion Divine Shield and Taunt, also known as the Sunwalker effect. However, the more I looked at this card, I actually at first when I saw it I was like, oh my god, this is like insane. It's one of the best cards they've spoiled. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the more I looked at this card, the worse it got. Mostly because it does not help Paladin to kill MechWarper at all. In fact, it's really, really bad against it because it will never get value. Because they just clear your guys. Like, they just clear your guys so that you don't get value out of it, and then it's just really bad against on-curve stuff. And then you have to replace it with True Silver, so you only get 1 charge. And
yeah, okay, so Coghammer has a lot of good points. about it.
Not on curve though. I just want to say that.
It's a 3 mana 2/3 weapon, so you can hit stuff for 2, which is pretty
Woo.
good against a lot of early minions. Although
Just wait till
against
we get to power mace.
against 2/3s, it's really awkward. But you get a huge amount of tempo when you play it because it gives Divine Shield on a taunt to a minion, so you can get a really great trade-off with if you have like a big minion, or you can taunt up recruit to make it into basically a mini Annoyotron, which is actually really good because it's very difficult to get through efficiently. So Stormforged Axe is like kind of a good card on the fringes of playability.
Meh. I don't think it's fringe anymore. I think it's just bad.
This is Stormforged Axe plus a free Hand of Protection, and that makes it a lot better in the late game when the goodness of weapons like this tends to kind of drop off.
It's a very good late game weapon. I will agree with you. I think it's
because
very
you're more likely to have bigger guys out on the board where you can get like really favorable trades with the Divine Shield.
The best thing is with Tyrion. You play Tyrion, they silence it, and it's like, nah.
Okay, here's Divine Shield again. You did mention the great, the really awkward interaction with the other Paladin weapons from Master of Battle and True Silver.
True Silver is the big one though, because Master I can hold off on or just play on turn 2 or something.
And you don't really mind if you accidentally overwrite the 1/4 weapon with.
With True Silver.
Yeah, sometimes you really, really desperately need to True Silver on turn 4.
Actually, you need to True Silver on turn 4 a lot. Like most games.
Well, I mean, the Paladin decks now are going to look a bit different because...
There's Tinkertown Technician now, and there's also Spider Tank.
That's true, but also, like, so 2 damage on turn 4 is not that bad if you, like, already have stuff on the board that you can combine to kill something.
Not really, though. Like, if you basically, the problem with this weapon is late in the game, it's arguably the best early cost weapon in the late game. Like, it's absolutely insane in the late game. You get something major, starts pinging on things, it's really good because you can heal yourself a bunch and then you can just use your health. But early game, it just feels like it's a good weapon, but in terms of an early game weapon, it feels like a good weapon in the wrong class. It's really awkward with a lot of... It has really awkward interactions sometimes. It's a good weapon. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's good. But it's just... It feels really awkward. And then you compare it to something like Power Mace and Shaman, which flows perfectly with the class.
I think people will be tinkering around with Paladin, and we'll eventually find a way to juggle these great cards and weapons to make it viable.
Die immediately to mech war openings.
And it's hard to say without trying it, like exactly what the best way to do that is. But these cards are really strong. They've got a lot of potential value.
Okay. Scarlet Purifier. 3 mana, 4/3, rare, battlecry, deal 2 damage to all minions with Death Rattle. Alright, this actually made me laugh when this was released. People were like, it's good against Undertaker. And I'm like, no, it's not.
I think it's fairly good against Undertaker.
It's not good against Hunter. Because they can Eagle Horn Bow it. And also, if you play Scarlet Purifier and you kill Haunted Creeper, it's fine. If you kill Web Spinner, it's fine. If you kill Mad Scientist and they get a Freezing Trap, it's miserable. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean...
It kills your own Nerubian eggs. I think that's the most powerful thing you can do with this, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad card. I think it's a pretty niche card. In a certain metagame where there's a lot of Death Rattle minions, which oddly it seems like we might be moving away from, then this card might be good. Certainly you can play it with your own Nerubian egg if you've got some other activators for that in the deck.
It doesn't do anything against mech Warper openings is the other problem.
Yeah, so I think this card fits into the category of it's kind of okay. It's got a certain niche, but it probably won't be played in every Paladin deck or even most.
I will say that between mech warp in Druid, if there's a Druid mech deck, it will destroy Paladins because mech warper into the teddy bear is like completely unkillable if they make it a 2/3, and if you play Scarlet Purifier because you just had it in your hand, they just make it a 3/2 instead.
Yeah.
Or buff it.
Yeah, I mean, 3 mana 4/3 is not great stats on a 3-drop, but it's okay.
It's okay,
Um,
yeah. It's like it's better than the 3-3, but not by much.
I mean, the 4 attack has got more significant now because of side effect. But,
True. Seal of Light. Now, Seal of Light is a 2 mana, restore 4 health to your hero and gain 2 attack this turn. I actually, now, looking back on it, I actually quite like this card because it augments your weapons. However, when this card first came out on Monday, I was like, oh, it's a 3 damage removal spell. It's 300 Blizzard, you troll. 2
um,
attack. You have to play Light's Justice, the actual Light's Justice, on turn 1 with Seal of Light to kill a Mech Warper. That's how you do it.
yeah.
I've solved
Okay,
it, guys.
so Seal of Light, you can see it as like a direct replacement for Holy Light. Decks that wanted to run Holy Light,
Oh yeah, it's way better than Holy Light.
because it's almost as good a Holy Light at giving you yourself that extra tiny bit of health that you needed to survive long enough to bring to bear the fact that you're a paladin, and will win in the late game.
Long enough
Uh,
to bear the fact you're a paladin.
yeah, uh, and it also gives you that kind of extra flexibility because sometimes it's a bad claw instead.
Yeah,
Um,
a really bad
and
claw because you can't make it up to
if
3.
if you desperately need to kill something on turn 2, then you can play it.
It kills
Um,
Undertaker. Kind of.
yeah, it does kind of kill Undertaker,
If you're
which
going
is
second, it kills Undertaker.
fairly useful, right? So it's sort of a card with like a lot of flexible applications. In a lot of matchups, Holy Light ends up being useless, and now it's slightly less useless because you can always find something to do with it, which
The
is
other thing
great.
this allows you to do is use it on your call camera to actually kill things.
Yeah, you can also buff up your other weapons. You can kill a Druid of the Claw with a True Silver Champion. You can
Yeah, I think it's a good card. Alright, on to the Shielded Minibot. Arguably the best Paladin card. 2 mana 2/2 mech with Divine Shield. This is way stronger than it looks at first.
oh baby, this card is really great.
I've played against this in Arena and it was not a fun experience. It was very good. Like, it just straight up killed the 2-drop and then killed something else along with another card.
Yeah, so you play it on turn 2, and it's just incredibly sticky and difficult to remove efficiently. They have to waste so much mana to get rid of it. Um,
It's almost like
it
Haunted Creeper with 2 attack.
yeah. Um, Yeah, it's like Haunted Creep. It's like a 2/1 Death Rattle summon a 2/2,
Kind of, yeah.
which is really really strong. You can have synergy with the other mechs, so you can play Mech Paladin in a more like aggressive version.
There's only 1 mech though. I know Cobalt Guardian's mech, I just don't count it.
Yeah, but it's a good enough mech that might be a thing.
Maybe.
So the thing with Paladin is you always have the Argent Protector as like a really solid minion, but you didn't have anything to play to any good minions to play on turn 2 to get the initial board control. That's really important.
Yep.
And now you do. This card will almost never cause you to fall behind. It's extremely strong.
I will say, coming out of Goblins and Gnomes, Paladin got a lot of cards. The problem is that they didn't really get any cards that help their weaknesses. Like, they only got 1 card that helped their weaknesses, which was Shielded Minibot, because they didn't really have a 2-drop. Like,
yeah, and now they do. That's huge.
it's huge, but the problem is they still can't kill 2/3s.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you can play Shielded Minibot, and then they
Like,
try and kill it with their 2/3, and
think
then
about it this way. How
you
does
can
a Paladin beat a Mage Mech deck that opens with Snow Chugger?
you play Shielded Minibot.
Yeah, and they ping it, and then they kill it.
Yeah, and then you
Well,
can
actually,
kind of
no, they don't even need to. They just play their other, like, 2/3 mech, hit your face, so you can't play Cog Hammer. You attack, and you play Cog Hammer anyway to give it taunt. They're just like, ping, kill it,
or you
attack
play
and
some.
freeze you again.
Well, I mean, you can play like a Peacekeeper that trades well with their 2/3s.
You can play Peacekeeper, but then it gets frostbolted.
Okay, well, we're getting a bit too far down this kind of weird hypothetical road.
Well, it's not even hypothetical. Like, how do you beat the Druid one either? They also have a 2/3 with taunt. This is a problem.
Hmm?
This is in fact a problem.
Well, not really.
You actually just can't kill 2/3s efficiently. Like, Shielded Minibot does not kill 2/3s efficiently.
Yeah, that I mean that is a bit awkward, but I mean you can play like if you're playing an aggressive deck, you can play abusive sergeant, or
Yeah, but
you
it's like
might even see like shattered sun cleric or something.
you may have to play abusive actually. Like you may have to play abusive. I think Paladin Control is still gonna have that problem where they just can't fight on the board at all. So if there's an aggressive deck, we are probably gonna have to see abusive sergeant just as an answer.
I mean, it's a really good card.
Yeah, it's a good card, but I think we're gonna have to see it as the main thing. But we'll have to see. I mean, like Seal of Light can also take things out along with Shielded Minibot. So we'll have to see how it turns out. I still think Paladin they're getting not the most, but they're getting a couple decent cards out of this set. But they were so low down before. I'm not sure if it's enough to drag them up.
I think it is. I think it really is.
We'll have to see.
Especially since the classes that they're typically good against.
Are getting stronger.
Yeah.
That's true. We'll have to see going into this. It really does depend on how the metagame turns out and just how well Paladin can stabilize against a lot of those things. They also use Jeeves quite well because they can run
Yeah,
like
in the aggro balance deck that we were talking about the other day, where you just
Divine
desperately
Favor.
want to run more divine favors, and
Jeeves.
Jeeves is an extra 2 divine
We forgot
favors.
to mention in Druid that Druid might be the best Jeeves deck because you can innervate to dump your entire hand.
I believe I did mention that actually.
Um, no, we mentioned Jeeves like just briefly, but
Yeah.
just a clarification: you can dump your entire hand with like innervates, and you can just run out Jeeves, and you get the advantage before they do, and you can like naturalize their stuff as well. Just draw more
Right.
cards. It doesn't really have drawback. But anyway,
So,
so
uh,
Paladin got a lot out of the set. Is it enough? We will have to see. But anyway,
yeah.
thank you for watching the Paladin part of the set review, and we will be back with the next class.